how do we become less dependent on the US at the same time as being their partner? We don't want to end up in a situation where somebody can turn off our economy on a tap almost.
And that's where we are right now. We have to build pipelines for sure. Our single biggest export is oil and gas. If you add gas, it's by far orders of magnitude our biggest net export. But unfortunately, 100% of our gas goes to the Americans. About 95% of our oil goes to them. And that is a function of not having any way to get it off to tide water. We have now one pipeline that has just started chugging westward. Still some of that oil, though, actually goes to California. But we need a pipeline west, maybe pipe one north, maybe one through the Port of Churchill and Hudson's Bay. And I would ideally like to have an east-west pipeline. So I intend to get these shovel-ready zones to create a national energy corridor with pre-approval for pipelines. Second thing is LNG. We're the fifth biggest supplier, but we're selling it for $4 to the Americans when we could be selling it for 14 to the Europeans and a similarly high price to the Asians. Now, you get gas overseas, you have to liquefy it and put it on a ship. So you need these big liquefaction plants that compress and cool the gas into a liquid. We have an enormous advantage there too, because our cold weather makes it 25% cheaper to liquefy. Liquefaction is obviously a function of cooling things down. So then the second thing is it's 11 days to ship to Asia from BC. It's 20 days from the US Gulf Coast. So again, another massive advantage over the Americans. The final advantage is we have this abundance of hydroelectricity. The Americans don't have enough electricity to serve their existing demand, let alone to power more industrial activity. We do. We're net exports of electricity, and we can produce even more. The biggest infrastructure project in Canadian history is LNG Canada in Northwest BC. Approved by Harper, facilitated by First Nations Chief Ellis Ross, who's my candidate in that area. $40 billion. This is by far the biggest project. Put this in perspective. There were 18 of these projects on the table back in 2015. 18. This is an enormous amount of investment we could be bringing. But the Squamish people, they took 14 years to get an approval for their project. It's an Indigenous-led project, and the government made them jerk around for 14 years. We should be approving these things in months. And then the coastal First Nations in BC would become literally the richest people in the world, exporting our gas overseas to Asia. And then in the East Coast, we could do it out of Saguenay, out of Newfoundland, potentially out of the Maritime provinces, and go around the Americans and say to them, you don't want our gas? Fine, we'll sell it to the Europeans and then the Asians, and we'll make a heck of a lot more money doing it.